Item 4 is a discussion of possible action, and this is brought forth by Ms. Rammaker in regards to the 10% bonus. There will not be any public comment on this item. Mr. Rammaker.
What I had hoped and would like to talk about is the fact that both Mary and Wes, it was suggested that at the time back in February when Aaron stepped in as the interim GM, that a possible bonus or an increase in wages or something be given to them. It was not taken at that time. We did nothing more at that time other than discuss it. A few months later, when Kevin came and Aaron went back as being our regular hydrologist and our assistant manager, I had recommended and suggested that possibly Wes and Mary would still be considered, should be considered for a bonus or a raise in pay at that time. I know they have commented themselves that they thought maybe they hadn't done a whole lot more than what they normally would. And yet just one thing alone with the fact that I know Mary was handling all the information and everything that had to do with getting a new general manager did put on more of a load for her, as well as trying to help Aaron. And I know Aaron had asked for both Mary and Wes to be back up and support him and help keep things running at the time. I had talked to Kevin a little bit about this, and we discussed some other possibilities as to what type of bonus might be brought forward, and now I'm asking that that be considered at this time.
What are you proposing? I mean, what are you asking me to consider?
Well,
Because I'm the one that originally brought that up, but I didn't understand how Wes is a little different as far as his, he's paid hourly, so any increase in his workload would be paid by an hourly rate. So I think that's kind of apples to oranges a little bit.
well, I know at the time that when you had suggested that with the fact that Aaron was moving up to a supervisor's pay rate, that Mary and Wes realized a 10% increase in their wages until the general manager is replaced. And I would like to see that 10% during that amount of time would be what they might receive as a bonus. I understand as well that we have all of our other managers or supervisors that helped and did a good job as well. And I can agree that something should be done for everyone. I don't want to ruffle feathers in the office, don't want to make stones, but it was a suggestion and it was a thing that was stated up front that both Mary and Wes were very supportive of, and it was something that Aaron really needed to make things roll properly. So, if nothing else, I would like to at least see the 10% increase during that wage time be what they would receive at this
Is that
time.
your motion on this item?
That would be my motion.
Okay. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Well, is that we're going to discuss it, or do we need a second?
I'm sorry, do you have something else to say?
Yeah, I'd like to discuss it a little bit. I mean, I have, when I talked to Kevin about this, I basically was of the mindset that, now that we had a general manager and this was a personnel matter, I just said, I'm not, what do you feel, is warranted here? What do you feel is fair? And kind of left that in his hands. I do agree that, the workload was increased. Like I said, Wes is different to me now that I understand how he's compensated. So any increase in his workload would have been compensated by an increase in his amount of time that he's paid for.
Okay, is there any other comment?
Well, I guess I concur as well. We heard from public comment, there's concerns about rate increases. I think when Kevin came in, he took the direction of Sandra and talked to Rich. I think it's a great gesture. I appreciate Wes and Mary. I think it is a little bit different. Aaron, there was a lot of things that he had to do that were above and beyond his role, and he did that. So I guess my recommendation is to support what the general manager did and put this to bed and go forward. So that's my suggestion. I think there was a lot of people that stepped up, and I think that the general manager saw that and kind of did a little token of appreciation for him, and I think we need to go forward with what he did.
Can you explain to the public what Kevin did?
Just have Kevin explain.
Basically, I gave Mary and Wes and the other four managers in the district a gift card in the amount of $100 for their efforts during that time period.
Thank you.
The only comment I have is the general manager is responsible to the board, and the board makes the decisions in regards to the general manager, but the general manager's responsibility is the employees. And I don't think we should be the board should be trying to micromanage behind the general manager. So we've still got a motion on the board. Is there a second?
You know, I think I could support, I think I could support something as far as Mary's concerned, but I think with Wes, I'm not in favor of that, so unless you care to change your motion, I'm in favor of it.
So you're not seconding
I'm
the
not
motion?
second.
So the motion dies for lack of a second. Moving on to item 5.
Do you want to read your motion, Sandra?
Well, I'm not trying to micromanage, and I believe that this was something that was done and suggested before Kevin got here. I would still like to see something more done, if nothing else. At least for Mary, I agree with you, Wes did get paid more, because if he worked more hours, he got paid for those hours. And I would still like to see something, and I'm still looking at the 10% in wage change for Mary. And that would be my motion.
So you're changing your motion just for Mary, at 10%?
Yes,
During that time for Mary?
yes.
I'll second that. We haven't heard Kenyon weigh in at all, so.
I'm just enjoying the conversation.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. I'll call for the vote. All those in favor, raise their right hand.
Aye.
Okay, we have 3 in favor, those against, and 2 against. So your motion carries.